How many styles of Kung Fu are there? Well, Kung Fu can be narrowed down to 4 types. So Shaolin Kung Fu has had a long history dating back over the last 1500 years and produced one of the largest amount of masters and students in martial arts history. Not only is it a first-rate martial art, meaning it can actually effectively be used for fighting, but it also contributes to excellent health and is a method of spiritual cultivation. So with so many versions of Shaolin Kung Fu, it's sometimes difficult to know what Shaolin Kung Fu is. So rather than describe the different styles, it's easier to put Shaolin Kung Fu into the following 4 categories. 1 is high-level Shaolin Kung Fu, 2 is middle-level Shaolin Kung Fu, 3 is low-level Shaolin Kung Fu, and 4 is flowery fists and embroidery kicks. High-level Shaolin Kung Fu is what the top monks in the Shaolin Temple in China practiced in the past. It is very combat effective, it uses internal force, it contributes to excellent health and is a process of spiritual cultivation, and this is what we train. Middle-level Shaolin Kung Fu is also combat effective and it contributes to good health. There is an emphasis of force training, but much of it's external, like hitting sandbags and striking wooden poles instead of internal. So this type of training focuses on combat rather than spiritual cultivation. Its training contributes to good health, but if the force training is incorrect or excessive, it becomes detrimental to health. Low-level Shaolin Kung Fu is practitioners practice genuine Shaolin Kung Fu forms, but they do not know how to use the Shaolin Kung Fu forms for combat, and it generally has no spiritual cultivation. So they borrow techniques of other martial arts like karate and kickboxing for their force training and sparring, and their training can also be detrimental to their health. Then there's flowery fists and embroidery kicks. This is the 4th, the low level, and it's the term used for practitioners having beautiful Shaolin Kung Fu forms but have no internal force and are ineffective in combat in using their style. It's more for show, and their practice contributes to good health. However, overstretching and wrong uses of the stances can lead to problems with knees and joints. So this is the 4 levels of Kung Fu. So it'd be fair to say that the above classifications is for convenience only, and therefore often there is overlapping as well. It's also reasonable to accept that Kung Fu is actually a martial art. So it is debatable whether or not the 3rd and 4th categories can be called Kung Fu, although practitioners of the 3rd category can fight, but they use techniques or other martial arts for their fighting and not those of genuine Kung Fu, and this is a great pity. So why many Kung Fu practitioners are able to use their Kung Fu for fighting will be discussed in another video or article that we produce. So most of the Shaolin Kung Fu practice today belongs to the 3rd and the 4th categories. It's admittedly often very beautiful to watch, commonly has genuine forms contained in it, and is very entertaining and enjoyable. However, it is not high or medium level Kung Fu. Actually, medium level Kung Fu is uncommon. High level Kung Fu is rare, and it took me many years of searching to find a teacher that was willing and able to pass on high level Kung Fu. So if you're looking to train in Kung Fu, it's worthwhile considering what it is and why it is you want to train, and what are your aims. And there are of course many reasons why people join a martial art club or seek out Kung Fu, and some of those might be to get fit, to be healthy, to be happy, to learn to defend yourself, to become more confident, to have a place to socialise with like-minded people, to do something you've seen in the movies, or be part of something with a long history, build internal force, one day become an instructor, or cultivate your spirit. So I must admit, when I was searching for genuine Shaolin Kung Fu, it wasn't because I was looking to cultivate my spirit. It's just that I felt there was something missing from the martial arts I was practicing at the time, and thought Shaolin Kung Fu had the answers. And much to my delight, not only did I have the answers I was looking for, but I also had the answers to things I haven't even thought or realised I needed at the time. So Before you spend years practicing an art without either knowing why or what the scope of the art is, take a moment to ask yourself and then investigate the arts that you're going to go and practice. Now, that I'm on the teaching end of the art, I realise how lucky I am to have access to the high-level Shaolin Kung Fu. You often learn a lot more about the arts when you start teaching them as well as practicing them. So if you want to achieve all the Shaolin arts have to offer, then a good place to start is with a high-level art. So whilst I'm grateful for what I've learnt before the Shaolin Kung Fu, I realise that I could have actually spent many more years attaining a high level in a lower level art. I would have missed out on the training energy, clarity of mind and spiritual cultivation, with the benefit of being able to apply my art to everyday life, so not just fighting. So another important point is to appreciate the difference between learning and practicing. So learning involves knowing more and more material, often in theory. Practicing involves going over and over again the material you already know, usually in action. So in the past, before you even got a chance to learn Shaolin Kung Fu, you needed to prove you were capable of repetitive action. So you might follow the master about for a year or so, sweeping his floors and doing his chores. I thought about bringing this tradition back, but so far I've got no takers, but let me know if you do want to sweep the floors. But of course, the foundation training of Shaolin Kung Fu is extremely important in terms of your continued development, and we spend a lot of time in stances, and this often is the part of Shaolin Kung Fu that tests if the student is ready or able to learn a higher level art. It not only builds strong stances, but internal force and clarity of mind, and both energy and mind are required for the spiritual cultivation. And even if you get a chance to learn high level Shaolin Kung Fu, then you're going to need to practice it regularly and sufficient to get the benefits. So practice as a high level Shaolin Kung Fu, you not only know history and philosophy in theory, but you will also be able to defend yourself, have good health, vitality and longevity, and experiencing peace and spiritual joy.